Let's go.
Not you got this.
Huh?
You got this.
Yeah?
Now let me see you.
What's up YouTube, this is Sutton Haye and this is part 2 of my Fix Your Deadlift series. Today I'm going to show you the warm-up and cues that I use to straighten out my back and eliminate any pain in the lift. These cues and principles are the result of my struggle over the past 5 years to improve my deadlift and use my body appropriately. So first up here I have a basic foam roller routine. You need to hit your upper back, your hip flexors, the side of your hips by rolling them, and your adductors. Now, I know some people don't like to lay down as soon as they get to the gym, and some people sell foam rolling routines as being something that is a long process that's going to take up a lot of your time and you won't have enough time to work out. For me, the foam rolling only takes maybe a minute or two. It's really just to kind of loosen up the areas and get my brain to release the tension, because tightness in a muscle group is a function of the brain and not necessarily of the muscular structure itself. The next thing that I want to hit up is 3 sets of 10 toe touches. Now with these you're going to bend your knees slightly because the goal here is to push your hips back. And let me give you the kind of 2 main things about this video and the 2 things that are going to help you fix your deadlift and get rid of the pain. The 2 factors that are in play in straightening out your lower back in the deadlift are 1, to push your hips back as far as you can. This pulls the slack out of your lower back and puts the pressure on your hamstrings rather than your erectors. The second thing is to maintain a proper brace with your abs. You combine these 2 and your lower back will be straight. So this entire warm-up is trying to hit those 2 things correctly. So 3 sets of 10 toe touches. As you can see here, my flexibility isn't anything awesome, but it is enough to do the lift appropriately, and even that was hard won. I'm a pretty tall guy with short arms, so the deadlift is not necessarily my best event by default, but here I've been able to get into a comfortable position and I'm getting more flexible every single time I do these. Now if you're having trouble touching your toes like I did for many years, keep in mind 2 things. 1, you want a slight bend in your knees, and the goal is from the top. The cue you need to be thinking about is pushing your hips back to go down and touch your toes. If you always start bending down by pushing your hips back, it's going to be better to keep your back straight. But this trick I learned from my chiropractor was to take a small squishy ball and put it in between your knees or slightly above in between your knees and hold it there in between your legs, and then push your hips back and try to touch your toes with your knees slightly bent. This cues external rotation of the hips by maintaining the pressure inwards towards the ball, and is really good for developing a neurological pathway to push the hips back as a means of going down. Now that your hips and hamstrings are loosened up, you need to start developing a connection in your mind between your abs and your lats working at the same time. For this you need to use a small ab roller, a tool that I recommend for all sorts of things. Try 3 sets of 10 on this. Make sure to get a good stretch in your abs and your lats, and at the bottom focus on flexing your abs hard and pulling the roller back with your lats. This cue will be very useful for the deadlift. Now you're all warmed up and ready to go. If you can touch your toes for 3 sets of 10 and the ab roller didn't give you any trouble, you should be ready to deadlift. So you've seen the videos, you've done this before. All you need to do, step up to the bar, pick your stance, and touch your toes. Push your hips back and grab the bar. Once you're holding onto the bar, I want you to get a big breath and then pull the ab roller back towards you. Pulling back with your lats and flexing your abs will put your body in the correct position. then push the floor away, and there's your deadlift. Many people might not see the difference between those two lifts, but for me the difference was between something that was painful and frustrating and I couldn't get stronger on, and something that was painless and strong, and something that inspired me to come back and try it again next week. Deadlift's a wonderful movement. Everybody should be able to do it. These next two exercises are rack pulls from slightly above the knee and extensions with a barbell. They both build bigger upper back muscles and help you maintain a straight upper back throughout the lift. While upper back rounding is not nearly as severe as lower back rounding, it's important to take care of it because it means that there is a weakness in your upper back. These two exercises will help you maintain a better position and are good to do as accessories after the lift. I'm showing them here because every single day that I failed on my regular deadlifts or whatever I was doing, I always had these accessories to go to. And it wasn't just busy work. I wasn't just getting a pump and then losing it and not making progress. I was building larger upper back muscles and stronger legs. And that consistency over time is what allowed me to fix my problems week to week and month to month, rather than getting frustrated and stalling out and having to take a lot of time off. So anyway, that's how I fix my deadlift, and that's how you can too. The two things you need to remember are to push your hips back and to get a big brace with your abs. You do those things, your lower back rounding won't happen anymore. Try to maintain a position where the bar is above your midfoot and directly below your shoulders. This position is going to be the strongest and the safest. If you have any questions, please let me know. Everyone, thank you for watching. I love all of you, and hey, if you subscribe, I will give you the gift of silence.